Hey, it's your contrarian soul guide, Dawn, and you're listening to Sovereignty Rising, the space where we unlearn the fear and reclaim the flame. This one might ruffle some feathers. It might stir a little bit of resistance. It might land like a truth you've been dancing around for years. But that's exactly why we're here. Because today, I want to say something that might go against a lot of what's circulating in healing and coaching spaces. Self-responsibility is not shame. It's not blame. It's not punishment. It's not your fault. It's the doorway to your power. And you can't walk through that door if you're still waiting for someone else to give you permission. So if you felt stuck in the loop of why did this happen to me? Or if you've been told to take accountability and it felt like guilt tripping, this episode is your reminder. You are not the problem, but you are the solution. Welcome to Sovereignty Rising. Ditch the fear, embrace your flame. I'm Dawn Elgin, contrarian soul guide, visionary mystic, and creatrix of practical spiritualism. And this is the space where we strip away the fear, burn the old stories down, and reclaim the power that was never truly lost, just buried. Here, we dive into raw, unfiltered conversations on emotional healing, spiritual awakening, and the art of unlearning everything that keeps you stuck, small, and disconnected from your truth. Together, we rise like phoenixes, flame first, fear last. Let's rise together. So let's talk about how the idea of self-responsibility has been twisted. I see it weaponized all the time. Words like, you attracted this, or mirror work, you created this with your vibration, or it's your shadow, you need to own it. Y'all, that's not empowerment. That's spiritual bypass with a glittery Instagram filter. And it can be traumatizing, especially if you've already internalized shame as a survival mechanism. Let's be real. Responsibility does not equal blame. Responsibility equals sovereignty. When we reclaim this truth, we stop punishing ourselves for what we didn't cause, and we start creating from what we now know. And it's now that matters in present time. So, what is self-responsibility? Well, it's not blaming yourself for trauma. It's not bypassing your pain. It's not hyper-independence or perfectionism. It's the deep soul level choice to respond from your truth and not your trauma. It's saying, I didn't cause this, but I get to choose what happens next. I'm not waiting for them to apologize for me to start healing. It's saying, I'm done waiting for my power to be returned. I'm going to reclaim it now. This is a reclamation of agency, not a condemnation of your past. Carolyn May says, you can't heal by analyzing your wounds forever. You heal by choosing what's next. So now let's get honest. Your ego will fight this hard. Why? Because radical self-responsibility means giving up the fantasy of being rescued. It means letting go of the story that if you just perform enough, someone will choose you. It means owning your triggers without needing someone else to fix them or change to not touch them. And that can feel like death to a part of you that learned to survive through deflection, people pleasing, or control. But healing isn't comfort, it's truth in action. But healing isn't comfort, it's truth in motion. And here's the magic. You don't have to feel ready to reclaim your power. You just have to stop outsourcing it. There's these moments in our life where what we get to do is say enough. I remember walking up my stairs of the house that we're living in now, where I'm recording this. And my coach was pushing for us to work on our visibility. And so she put together this entire visibility project that we were all going to be doing together. And that could look like posting more on Instagram, on Facebook. It could mean YouTube's podcasts. It could be anything. But her point was that we needed to be visible. Now, my coach specializes in working with people who want to write books and speak on stages. And really, she has an entire program called Thought Leader Academy. Her name's Sarah Connell, and she's amazing. And so she was pushing us to be more visible. Her point was, you're going to write your book, and then how does anybody know about it? How does anybody know who you are? And so she's like, the people in this world need to know you. They're waiting for you, and you need to show up. And all of this sounds really great, except for I had an extreme fear of being visible in social media. I had pretty much become invisible on social media over the past 2 years. And the reason for this had been, to be honest with you, I grew up being bullied. And the idea of being visible in social media, really, I was terrified of people trolling. I was terrified of people pushing back as I shared my truth as I was learning. I mean, I've been on a 6-year spiritual journey. I mean, it's been more than 6 years, really, but these last 6 years have been a full out surrender experiment. And saying yes when really what I'd like to say is no and go hide. And I didn't want to put myself out there. So I was walking up the stairs to the main level of our house. And as I was walking up the stairs, I was in my mind making a bunch of excuses why I didn't need to do what she was encouraging us to do. And I had a fairly good list of justifications, I felt. And as I got to the very top of the stairs, when you get to my main floor, kind of turn right is my kitchen, and to the left is our living room. And as I stepped onto the landing, my husband's in the kitchen, and I hear this voice. It's really loud and booming. And the voice says, "Are you going to abort your mission again?" And I look around, I'm pretty shaken. And I look at my husband, and he's looking at me like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Did you hear that?" He's like, "Nope." Voice booms again. "Are you going to abort your mission?" And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm physically shaking. And I say out loud, "No." And the voice says, "Then birth it into life now." And I turn to my husband and I'm like, "Oh my God, I got to stop doing this." And as I'm standing on the landing, I have this moment where I realize I'm still siphoning a big amount of my life force, my energy into the past. I'm still giving it to all those bullies in elementary school, in high school. I'm still giving it to my mom. I'm still giving it to all the people that made fun of me, that were passive aggressive, that told me I wasn't good enough. And in that moment, I was like, no more. You know what? Keep it. Keep all the power I've given you. It's got your cooties on it. I don't want it back. From this moment on, you're all cut off. And it was like this big welling up of energy. And I get these huge surges the moment that I go into alignment. And I've experienced it over and over again since this journey has started. So this big, huge welling of energy comes up. I walk over to my computer and I immediately start. I'm like, this is it. I need to write my book. I need to start posting. I need to do everything that I've been being told I need to do. And I began creating my self-sovereignty system, I began putting my coaching program into action, into creating something that was unique and, very much a co-creation, not mine, but co-created between myself and source. And it was this moment, this magic, where I got to reclaim all my power. I got to completely stop outsourcing it, waiting for these people to tell me, oh, we were wrong. You are good enough. And they were never going to. I don't even think most of them ever even think of me again. So why was it waiting? What are you waiting for? So by now, you're going to know how much I love a good practice. And we're going to do an embodiment practice today called the Sovereign Pause. We're going to really drop into the body. And you don't have to move mountains today. You just have to come back to you. And that's the point of this. So as long as you're in a safe space, I want you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Put a hand on your heart and one on your belly. And I want you to feel the breath move through you. Now ask, where am I still waiting for someone else to change before I choose peace? Just breathe into that. And now say, I call my energy back to me. I choose to respond from my soul and not my story. My power doesn't live in the past. It lives in this present moment. And let it land. This is your sovereign pause. I encourage you, use it often. As you can see, there's been many a times when I've been doing all the work on paper. I've had the boundaries, I've had the healing practices, I've had insight. But secretly, I have had times where I've just waited for somebody to apologize. I have been waiting for someone to acknowledge how hurt I was, waiting to be chosen before I gave myself permission to rise. And the thing is it's our own voices that we hear it in. We got to understand that we're outsourcing and it's us that needs to choose. I need to choose me. You need to choose you. The person that you've been waiting to love you is you. So often we leave our families as we move through our adolescence and into adulthood. And we leave this place where love us, are supposed to love us. And then we leave and we're looking for other people to love us. Whether that's friends, whether that is a romantic partner, whether that's even mentors. But we look outside of ourselves to be chosen, to be told we're good enough. And the person that we are constantly waiting for is ourselves. Our job is to love ourselves. We are the life that we were given to take care of. We're the one that needs to love us unconditionally. We're the one that needs to give us compassion, to give us empathy, that needs to hold ourselves and give us permission to explore, to grow, to evolve, to heal. And when we start making little tiny 1-degree turns, little micro changes, we get to start moving in the right direction, the direction we were always meant to move in, the direction that takes us closer to love, closer to peace. These are our natural states, our natural ways of being. And all of this out here, all the world, is chatter and it's noise. And we get drawn into this chaotic outer world through our senses, through our eyes, all the bright lights and the scrolling, through our ears and the noise and the music and the chatting, through our mouth, through our tongue. And all of it is pulling us outside. And what we need to do is take times. We're meant to be creating in this outer world, but it's supposed to be created from the inner world. We're not supposed to be reacting to all of this. We're supposed to be responding from a centered internal place. And that's what I want for you. And when we are moving in the right direction, when we're moving from love, when we're moving from peace, then we're creating something that is fulfilling. It's beautiful. And it doesn't mean we need to burn it all down. We don't need to, destroy our life and our relationships. That's the point of these little 1-degree turns. We make these little micro moves and steps. We start having different conversations about our values, conversations about our dreams. And when people put those things down, we do have a choice. We get to choose, is this a person then that I don't want to share those dreams with? Or is this a relationship that I want to work on and see if we can deepen it? For myself, I'm in a place now where when somebody dream thieves, because that's what it is, when somebody's sharing their dreams and sharing their hopes and somebody takes it away, even if it's under the be realistic guise, that's dream thieving. That's joy thieving. That's stealing. Plain and simple. And when somebody's doing that, I'm in a place now where I lead with curiosity. So for me, the curiosity would be something along the lines of, so I'm curious. Are you aware that you are joy thieving me? Are you aware that you just like stomped all over my dreams that I was telling you about? And there's a good chance that person's not even aware. It's such an old habitual pattern that they've gone through, they're not even aware of what they're doing. And that's the thing about people being unconscious. Unconscious means unaware. That's why people term it as being asleep or sleepwalking. Now, a lot of that sounds quite derogatory, so I'm always trying to be careful about language with these things, but it is unconscious. You're either conscious or you're unconscious. You're either awake or you're asleep. And for some of us, we're kind of like slowly waking up and it's a slow start to the morning. So we try to give people, I believe, the benefit of the doubt. And the benefit of the doubt for me is that they're not even aware of their behavior. Now, if we just go at them and attack, you shouldn't do this to me, they're going to defend because that's what the ego does. The ego is always going to defend its space. They're unaware. And so by being curious, and we can go even more curious, like, are you aware you were doing that? And if they're like, oh, well, I'm just trying to be realistic. My next question would maybe be, for who? I was happy and in a state of joy. So now curious, what was coming up for you? I don't actually need you to be realistic for me. I'm good. I'm happy in my own body, running my own life. I was really excited about sharing these ideas and sharing my life with you. So what's going on? And from that, they might say, it might come out that they feel like, where does that leave me? If you go and do all these things, like, where is that going to leave us? You're going to leave me in the dust. And you might find yourself having some really cool conversations. I've been doing this part of my practice for probably close to 10 years now. I've deepened and softened the practice though. So when I started this practice, I was more passive aggressive and I had to learn those 1-degree turns got me from being passive aggressive or defensive so that I would stop guarding. And then it got gentler and gentler and gentler until it became curious and compassionate. And curiosity and compassion are both aspects of our soul. They're characteristics of our soul. And so I know that if I lead with curiosity and compassion, then I'm in alignment with myself and I'm not going to feel guilt or shame or regret for how I handled myself in those conversations. Because what I'm trying to do, my absolute effort, is to create intimacy with the people around me. And I can do that because I feel more intimate with myself. And the more settled and grounded I am, the more capable I am of holding the space for those deeper conversations. And that's what I want for you. So as I made these little 1-degree turns, and I can start moving into the directions that I choose for myself, one of the questions, or actually two questions that I ask myself over and over are, what if I don't need them to get it for me to be free? So if you're thinking of old hurts, or what if I get to liberate myself with no permission slips? What if I'm just the one that I've been waiting for? And that shift over and over and over, that's what really cracked me open. So let me be absolutely clear. You are not responsible for what they did, but you are responsible for what you do next. You get to decide how long you carry it, how long you carry that baggage, that story. You get to choose whether it becomes your identity or your fuel. You get to decide to stop the loop and start the rebirth. That's not shame. That's sovereignty. So here's what I want you to sit with this week. Where am I still confusing responsibility with shame? Where have I been waiting for someone to choose me when I could be choosing myself? And then take a breath and speak this to yourself. I am no longer waiting. I choose myself, I respond from my soul, and I rise on my terms. And if you're ready to walk this path with support, check out my free 5-day bootcamp called The Unlearning. It starts on June 6th. Or check out our private community on Facebook called The Awakening Circle. It's a safe place to dive into deeper and more meaningful conversations and where we can feel supported together. But whether you join or not, this work is already happening for you. It's already happening in you. So keep choosing your flame, one breath at a time. I see the light in you, and it is brilliant. And I so want you to see it too. You are not broken. You are not too much. You're remembering who you've always been. And this journey is just getting started. If today's episode lit something in you, hit follow so you don't miss what's coming. And if you're feeling it, leave a review. It helps with more soul-led women find this space. Want to go deeper? Come find me on YouTube, Facebook, our private Facebook community, The Awakening Circle, Instagram, TikTok, or at our website, practicalspiritualismco.com, for all the ways we can rise together. Not to worry, all those links are in our show notes. Until next time, stay sovereign, stay bold, and keep that fire lit.